All right, y'all. Today I'm going to show you how to install your new 2AD Nap Time Suppressor. You may have thought you just bought a suppressor, slap it on there, and you can get to firing. Well, you are wrong. First and foremost, we do check these before they leave inventory to make sure they're 100% concentric, and that we do a fit check to a rifle, and we do an alignment rod check for you so you don't have to. However, every rifle is different, and your rifle, your barrel threading might be messed up, whether there's some burrs or debris that you might want to clean out. If you have a little wire brush, you can go ahead and clean these threads out if there's some carbon buildup or something. And then also checking the shoulders of where the threading ends. So sometimes, like with an AK or older rifles, if it's modern, you're probably not going to run this issue, but your shouldering could be bad, which then would mean that your suppressor sits at kind of a tilt when you get it on there. So those are a couple things to check and look out for first. Some other things that we can consider are, do you want to do a quick disconnect mounting system? If so, you can purchase those. They fit with the hub compatibility of our 2AD Nap Time Suppressor. That just means the diameter in this threading will fit most everything industry standard hub compatible. This gives you more options. What it does come with, however, is a direct thread mount. This one's going to be a 5/8 by 24 for your 30 cals. And so what I like to do is, I'll figure out a few different things. Timing is also something that you might be interested in. Timing is essentially where it stops in its alignment process. Essentially, it's completely tightened against either the neck of the barrel or the washers and shims that you've put on there with the back of your direct thread mount. So you can put this on here, and when you get it completely threaded onto your barrel, maybe the logo stops short or you want it rotated more, you can use shimming to get that placement and indexing correct for how you want to install your suppressor. So what I like to do is I'll take this bad boy and I'll get a little bit of thread lock on there. This is going to be a dedicated 30 cal suppressor for this rifle. So we'll use our 5/8 and 24 mounts. And as you can see, we've completely disassembled our rifle. There is no way, shape, or form this thing can fire. If you're doing any kind of maintenance, always take the bolt carrier group out. And if you can disassemble it, why not add an extra layer of protection? So we've got our direct thread mount on here. We're gonna go ahead and just give that a nice, firm, snug, tight. If you want to do this proper, you can get a torque wrench out and it'd be, I believe, 20 to 30 inch-pounds. Check with your manufacturer on that, but a good snug fit from the wrench is gonna do you justice, especially with that Loctite. So now that we've got that on there, we want to make sure to line up our threads for our suppressor going onto our direct thread mount. We'll get this going. And this is what I talk about indexing, is this information here is upside down and the logo is upside down. If I wanted that to be the right side up, I would figure out how many shims I need to make it stop short and index properly. So I'd probably put 2 to 3 shims in there, but for today's purposes, we're just gonna get her on there. Once you've got it hand tight, go back through. You've already done the direct thread mounts with your wrench. Now give that suppressor a nice little half rotation right there, and she should be locked in. Check this thing right after you shoot, after 10, 15 rounds. If you didn't tighten it enough, it might start coming loose, and if it does happen, you may get a baffle strike. Any additional movement is gonna move the tip of your suppressor in alignment with the projectile. So we want to avoid that at all costs. If you are doing a quick disconnect, you're gonna want to test for all the same things. You're gonna want to make sure that the mount that's going directly to your rifle is seated perfectly square, and the quick disconnect that goes inside your suppressor to then go on the disconnect also connects proper. Any misalignment in any of these parts is going to potentially lead to damaging your suppressor, like a baffle strike, or even yourself in extreme cases. The final check we can do is we're going to do an alignment rod to check how concentric this is to the barrel. So what that means is we're putting this rod in there, and we're going to be able to tell how center that rod is to the opening. There should be about 2/1000 of an inch around it, all the way around it, to make it perfectly concentric. And this one looks pretty darn good. We will not have any baffle strikes going and shooting this suppressor with this host firearm. So thank you guys for purchasing a 2AD Nap Time suppressor. You're gonna be very happy with it. However, make sure that it is aligned properly and snugly mounted to your rifle, or you could potentially damage your suppressor and or harm yourself. Have fun, enjoy your new suppressor, and go train hard. We'll see you next time.